Hokies! Hello, Hokie Nation. Alongside ESPN and ABC's Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Jon Laaser. Herbie, I'm going to call you Herbie.
Yeah,
welcome back to Blacksburg, and thanks for taking some time for us. Justin Fuente has been pretty candid. He says Clemson's where we want to be. And where would you assess the progress of his program in terms of getting there?
Well, I think it's heading in the right direction. You know, I have a great affinity for what Frank Beamer, like all of you here in Blacksburg, have. And I think back to the glory years of Beamer ball and Lane Stadium at night. And I was here on a Thursday night when Corey Morris said, "Welcome to the Terradome, baby." So I'll never forget what this place has always been. And I would love to see it back to where it once was in its glory years. And I think it takes steps. You know, and he's in his second year. I thought he did an incredible job just to get to the ACC championship a year ago. And now, you know, he lost some great players, and now they've really been impressed with some of these new pieces that they plugged in. And I can only imagine with keeping Bud Foster to keep that continuity and bringing his own assistants, who he's, you know, familiar with. I think the transition has gone as smoothly as possible when you're replacing a living legend like Frank Beamer, and give him 2 or 3 more years of recruiting skill at receiver and running back with this young quarterback, Josh Jackson. If I were a Virginia Tech fan, I'd be very excited.
We're biased. We, of course, would like this team to be Tech in terms of balancing out the ACC and getting an annual representative from Coastal in the national conversation. But how much would that benefit the conference to have more balance between the Atlantic and Coastal, if it's Tech or if it's Miami or someone else?
That's a great point. And I think nationally we have been conditioned, not that we're biased or not that we're picking sides, but you can only go by what you watch. And what you see right now has been Florida State and Clemson, and even Louisville with Lamar Jackson stealing the headlines. And now all of a sudden with I think Justin Fuente coming into Blacksburg, with Mark Richt going down to Miami, you know, I think it does give it a little bit more balance, but the proof's in the pudding. You've got to go out and win. It's one thing to get on the big stage. It's another thing to capitalize. And that's what I think Virginia Tech and Miami is going to have to do.
Hokies go into this matchup, I think, knowing that they don't quite stack up from a depth standpoint, going back to the steps that you were talking about. But how can they compete in this football game and ultimately try to pull it out?
I wish the camera could turn around and point to that stadium, because how can they pull it off? That stadium has to be an X factor. This Clemson team, I just had them 2 weeks ago at Louisville, took the crowd out of the game within the first or second drive. It was over. Crowd was gone. That can't happen here if Virginia Tech's going to win. The combination of Bud Foster's defense, his nastiness, his approach that we all know, with that crowd, with that energy, has got to have it has to have staying power. It can't just be the first quarter and go away. And so I think you got to create turnovers. You got to give Josh Jackson a short field. And then, to be candid, you're going up against maybe the best defensive line in the country and a great defensive coordinator in Brent Venables, and they're incredibly confident. So you've got to find ways. You're not going to sustain drives. You're not going to go 12 plays, 80 yards all night. Somebody's going to have to make some big plays. And a young quarterback in Josh Jackson's going to have to hit Cam Phillips for 50 and 70 yards. If they do those things, and playing at home with that atmosphere, you got a shot. But you can't sustain the drives and not create turnovers and think you're going to win this game.
We've talked a lot about coaches, Fuente, Beamer, Foster. Your coach is the coach, Lee Corso. He's not with us right now today, but how excited is he to come back to Blacksburg?
We're all excited. Anytime we come back here, we always tease Lee about, you know, his car right over there got hit by lightning, and now there's a brand new, beautiful indoor facility where his car once was. We always give him trouble about that. And it's just one of those places. You and I were talking before we came on. Game day, when we came here in like '99, it was my 3rd year on the show. I mean, we had 18,000 people inside Lane Stadium. It was a night game, and they showed up that in the morning. This was back when we'd get 2,000 people around our set, and they had 18,000, I think, or 19,000, and really just changed the entire feel and vibe of game day. And so Lee, of course, is excited to be here, but again, I think the whole show, anytime we get a chance to come back here, it's one of our favorite places we ever go.
Kirk, you're the best, man. Thanks. We hope you enjoy the stay in Blacksburg.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Kirk Herbstreit from ESPN and ABC. Big weekend ahead for them and, of course, for Hokie Nation. On behalf of Hokie Nation, I'm Jon Laaser. Hokies!